This is CNN Breaking News.
We are now just past the bottom of the hour on this Friday afternoon. You're watching CNN Breaking News. This gets you straight to Munich in Germany while we're covering what appears to be a terror attack. Those words from Munich police now, as they have now upped the death toll in this shooting to 6. 6 people dead. Obviously, that number could change as we're only in the first few hours of this event. The thing is, they are saying could be up to 3 gunmen, all of whom are at large. Trying to piece all of this together, could be multiple locations, and we're getting video from a McDonald's, which is a piece of this shopping center where the shooting occurred. Let me just play this for you. I have to warn you, it is disturbing, and also you'll see someone in a black t-shirt. We do not know if that is the shooter. Roll it.
Wie krank ist denn der?
We have just heard from an eyewitness who recounted a frightening scene, talking about a gunman loading his weapon and then targeting children. CNN correspondent Brian Todd has spoken to this witness. Brian, what did he or she tell you?
Well, Brooke, a very dramatic account from this witness. It's a woman. We're only calling her Loretta right now just for her safety. My producer, Dougal McConnell, speaks fluent German, and he was able to reach this woman by calling different stores in that area of that mall. He reached her when she was hiding in a windowless store right next door to the McDonald's. Now, Loretta told us this, that she was in the McDonald's when a gunman came out of a bathroom and started firing. She said she was only 2 centimeters away from him. She said his back was turned to her, or she believes she would be dead right now. She says her 8-year-old son was in the bathroom with him and saw him loading his gun. Here's a little snippet of sound from that.
My son saw in the toilet the man loading his gun. It was a pistol. I come out of the toilet and I hear this like an alarm. Boom, boom, boom. And he's still killing the children. They make nothing. The children were sitting to eat. They can't run.
Now, Loretta also told us that she heard the man yelling Allah Akbar. She took her children away from the store, and she also took another shooting victim away from the store. Clearly, Brooke, she was very upset with that scene. She's thankful to be alive, thankful that she and her 2 children both made it out of there unscathed. But again, she said her son saw the man loading his gun, that this was a pistol. She described him as a heavy-set man wearing dark clothing, and she described a little bit of what that video that we just saw kind of bore out. She described him going then out of the McDonald's, saying that he then went across the street to that mall and went inside the mall. That McDonald's, according to what she said and according to what we saw on maps, is just across the street from that mall. But the McDonald's appears to be at least one spot where this shooting started, Brooke.
Targeting children. Where has this world come to? Brian Todd, thank you so much for that. I was talking to an eyewitness who explained to me it sounds like there's 2 malls, one on either side of the street. Obviously, it sounds like from this eyewitness that the person, I don't know, changed clothes, but definitely, obviously, according to the 8-year-old, loaded the weapon and targeted children. Paul Cruikshank, our CNN terrorism analyst, is joining me now. I was just standing next to you in Nice, Paul, over the weekend, reporting on the 84 dead there, including so many children. I am sick to my stomach to hear that this terrorist was targeting kids.
And why would they want to do it, Brooke? Because they want to maximize the horror. They want to maximize the global media impact. And as we see an attack week after week, we're seeing these attacks, and they've got to do something even more gruesome in the next attack to sort of capture the imagination and the horror of the world. We don't know yet who the perpetrators are, but the Germans clearly at this hour think this is an ongoing terrorist attack. There's clearly a lot of concern that we could see more violence from these, what sounds like 3 gunmen in the hours ahead, Brooke. And I have to tell you, this comes at a time when there were real concerns amongst German intelligence agencies that Germany was the next ISIS target. They received intelligence in the past few months indicating that ISIS is trying to do everything it can to recruit individuals to come back to Germany to launch attacks. And they're really trying to recruit the Germans that have joined ISIS to do that. More than 800 Germans have traveled to Syria and Iraq, many of them joining ISIS, and more than a third of those thought to be back already in Germany. Also, just in the last few days, Brooke, German intelligence has received indications that ISIS operatives inside Syria and Iraq have been trying to reach out to supporters directly in Germany, in the West, to try and encourage them to launch attacks. As they lose ground in Syria, Iraq and Libya, they are ratcheting up their attempts to launch terrorist attacks in the West. And trying to get people who are supportive of them but not necessarily connected to them to launch these attacks. And just a few days ago, Monday night, in southern Germany, we saw a horrific axe attack by an Afghan refugee who, by his own account, was inspired by ISIS to launch an attack on a commuter train, injuring several. The energy in the jihadi system has really been rising in Germany in recent months. There have been more than 1 million refugees who've come to the country, and that has created some security concerns. I've been told that there have been around 30 investigations launched when it comes to refugees coming into the country where there's been indications or signs of radicalization. But actually, in most of those cases, the radicalization has not been substantiated. German officials tell me that they really have not seen that many cases of refugees coming in that are radicalized. But of course, we know that ISIS is trying to manipulate these migrant flows to try and get operatives back into Europe. But in recent months, Brooke, that's become much more difficult because that migrant corridor stretching through the Balkans really has been shut down. So not clear who these people are. Are they somehow connected to ISIS?
I have so many more questions for you, but I've just been told stay with me, Paul, because I want to talk to you on the other side of this. We've just gotten some video. This is our first look together inside the mall where apparently this shooting took place. Let's watch.
Wie wir auch den Augenzeugenberichten entnehmen konnten, mit einer unglaublichen Kaltblütigkeit dort auf Menschen Jagd machen, dann hat das allemal einen terroristischen Hintergrund. Aber wie gesagt, wir können noch nicht sagen, aus welcher Ecke dieser Anschlag kommt, wenngleich natürlich im Laufe der letzten Jahre.
Listen, I don't speak German, so we're just going to all watch this together. But it's a German reporter's voice, just obviously with his cell phone, walking through the different stores. You can see glimpses of some people running, not a lot of people. Honestly, let's just sit and watch it together.
Also es ist im Moment noch sehr schwer, die Situation einzuschätzen, aber dass es ein terroristischer Anschlag ist, also ein Anschlag, wo es darum geht, mit äußerster Brutalität gegen eine ganz indifferente Masse von Menschen vorzugehen, um im wahrsten Sinne des Wortes zu terrorisieren, davon können wir ausgehen.
Wir sehen derzeit.
Okay, and so clearly this reporter, as anyone would be, running out of this shopping mall where the shooting has happened. Paul Cruikshank. Here's one of my questions as we've been covering all these different terror attacks, and we're talking about this sort of sick ideology and I don't know, wished martyrdom. The fact that these 3 gunmen, at least according to authorities, are on the loose, and then, I'm assuming not among the 6 dead. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you they're going to probably try and launch more attacks. If these are ISIS-inspired or ISIS-directed terrorists, Islamist terrorists, they're going to want to go out, as far as they're concerned, in their twisted view, in a blaze of glory, that they will believe that they're about to go to paradise. They may be in a state of real sort of ecstasy and excitement because of that. And want to launch as much carnage as possible. There may be an opportunity in these hours for them to claim this attack for whatever terrorist group they may or may not be linked to try and get some kind of message over social media. These days, terrorists have smartphones, and that they're able to get these kind of messages out. And we've even seen in one recent terrorist attack in France, the perpetrator filmed the aftermath of the attack and broadcast it live over Facebook. So lots of opportunities for gunmen to try and allow a terrorist group to take ownership. But clearly the number one priority for German investigators now is to figure out where they are, to track them down before they can kill a lot more people. We've seen these gun attacks in Europe, in the United States in recent months. The death toll can really be truly horrific.
And as we've been pointing out before, you know, this is actually where this shopping area is in the northwest part of Munich. And I don't know how many times you've been, Paul, to this part of the city, but this is near, you know, where that initial terror attack at the Olympics in '72 took place. I mean, this is called Olympia Mall. This is near that stadium where that happened some decades ago, and now this. And so to your point, what are police, SWAT? I mean, everyone's commented on how quick the response has been, but if you have these 3 gunmen wanting to carry out additional attacks, and the city's on lockdown, they've shut down mass transportation, what else can law enforcement do?
Well, they've got to get lucky. They've got to get smart fast. I mean, this is sounding a bit like a Boston type of lockdown in a major Western city. Where it's a race against time between the authorities trying to locate the perpetrators and then more attacks perhaps being in the works. So we don't know if there are perhaps other teams linked to these individuals still out there. We saw in the Paris attacks that there were 3 teams of terrorists in total, 10 people in all involved in that attack. Is this part of something bigger that is being launched in Germany? Intelligence has also suggested that ISIS have wanted to launch simultaneous attacks in Europe, that they want to launch an attack not just in one European city but many European cities all at the same time. In fact, a German ISIS recruit who was arrested on his return recently to Germany provided that intelligence to the German agencies. So we'll have to see what happens next, but this is a state of real emergency now in Munich. German police have been training for exactly this kind of scenario. They are very, very professional, but they're going to have to get lucky before there's more bloodshed.
6 people dead. That number could rise once they get into that shopping mall and clear it out, and could be up to 3 shooters on the loose. Paul Cruikshank, as always, invaluable perspective from you, from a terrorism expert perspective. Paul Cruikshank, thank you so much. Quick break. We're back on more Munich breaking news after this.